Hey everyone, my name is Dr. Jocelyn Conley, pelvic floor physical therapist. And in this video, I'm gonna go over the back extension exercise. This is a common exercise that I see people doing in the gym, and it's a great exercise if you know what you're doing and why you're doing it. Now, as you can see, I don't have a back extension contraption or machine, so I'm gonna use what I got at home, which is a box. It's set at the 30-inch height, and I'm going to hook my feet at using my fence here. But this could be done, the principles are the same using a back extension machine at the gym. So what I recommend is you watch this video first, and then you watch it a second time, doing the movement and pausing as needed as you follow along. So for me, I'm going to get on my box. I'm going to get far enough forward where the front of my pelvic bone is it's forward of the box. Now I'm going to start in this position. Now this is what I typically see people doing, which isn't necessarily wrong. What you see with movements, I mean, you could see 10 people doing something, it looks the same, but their recruitment strategy is different. So it changes what they are training. So I'm gonna slow this motion down and go over the key movement performance points to safely perform this exercise, because this can put a lot of shear or stress on your spine. So if I'm starting here, and I'm gonna hug my chest like I see people doing, what I want to do is my glutes squeeze first, then my low back extends, mid back extends, head comes up. To go down, chin tucks, head goes down, lower back rounds, or mid back rounds, then lower back rounds, then I have released my glutes. Then glutes, lower back, mid back, upper back, then head, upper back, middle back, low back, glutes, or pelvis. If I speed this up, and really, so I'm rolling segmentally through my spine. Versus just doing this. Now, the question that I ask the people that I work with and my students are, what are you training and why are you training it? Why would you need that speed where your back is going from flexion to extension so quickly? So that's where we get into what their everyday movements are, what they're doing from a sport standpoint, and we determine whether or not that is a movement or that is something that happens during their life. If not, then you don't need to go that fast. Whatever speed you choose should match your goal, like what you want to overall accomplish. So I know for me, I think the most, like the movement maybe where I'm going relatively quick would be a kipping pull-up, because everything else I'm mainly in a neutral position. I'm not going from flexion extension in a repetitive action like that very quickly. So I don't train it that fast. I train for control. And even me, this is hard for me to do segmentally. So as you are going through that, the key things to remember is as you go from the starting position to up, It's the timing of lower back, mid back, cervical head, then reversing its head, neck, upper back, mid back, low back, then letting tension out of the glutes or pressure out of the glutes. You have to be focused and aware to control that. And it takes time to get that down. Even there's parts of my spine that are just stiff that will not necessarily give that easily. So for me, I need to work on mobility and stability. This is not an exercise that I would load typically unless I had a movement that I was specifically training for that required load. Instead, I would train something like the Jefferson curl versus this back extension exercise. How I would train it is I would probably do like 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 15 or 10 to 20, all depending on what the purpose would be from a training goal standpoint. If you have questions, post them below in the comments. And then if this is helpful, press like, share with anyone that needs to be shared. And thank you so much for watching the series on deadlifting.